Hey, shalom, 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 Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Barakatah. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great Milson, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the 144,000 chosen, hopefully elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your, who is Yahawashi? This is your brother Radah. I just want to go into something I was looking at in Micah 7, which really it was pretty awesome to look at. You know, sometimes it's really important to go into these prophecies and open up these words and get better understanding on just the rather than just the surface level. So I want to read a few verses out of a very popular prophecy and see if I can add some more. Well, not I'm gonna add. I'm gonna share what was shown to me by the Spirit. So this is Micah 7. Okay, I'm gonna start at verse 7. Therefore, I will. It's lucky. My voice looks scratchy right now. Therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the power of my salvation. My power will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. This is very important. Verse 9. This attitude is what separates the elect, the hopeful elect, from the 2/3. Okay, this attitude is what separates. Verse 9 is what separates the elect. Not that we're compared to the wicked Esau, but Esau doesn't have this attitude. They don't have this. The majority of them they don't have this capacity to feel bad for what they did. And we need to understand what we did as hopefully elect Israelites. That the main transgression that we committed as a nation over and over again was our adultery against our husband, the Most High, was the rejecting of Yahawashi, right? And we are likened unto a comely woman, and we were choosing philosophies, we were choosing doctrines, we were choosing wine, the philosophies, the powers, the gods, the idols of the heathen nation, and then Esau, even today with Christianity, white Jesus Christ, those are idols, man. And we've had this issue with adultery this whole time. And if you notice in the earth right now, you see the rebellion and pride and the immorality of women because of this society. It's fashioned after the Queen of Heaven worship, which it overly Esau, I believe it's strategy, because if you look at some of the leadership in Esau, a lot of the men, when you go up into the higher rankings of their rulership, a lot of the men marry transgenders. They have been practicing this practice on turning men into women in the places of rulership. If you look at some of those, I don't have time to go into it now, but there's countless amounts. I mean, look out here. I'll pull one up real quick. Look at this. You tell me what you guys think. Chuck Schumer. Watch, man. What do you guys think? What do you see when you look at these two? Look at his wife. That's a fucking man, dude. That is a goddamn man, bro. Look at her face. That's a transgender. Look at that fucking thing, dude. That's not in those colors, those black and white colors. Those are all Masonic type shit. Look, man, that's a dude, and he's a ruler. He's low level. He's low level. Come on, man. Look at it. Look. Come on, bro. Look, it even says right there, Chuck Schumer's wife is a man named Iris or something like that. So, let me see. I'm just trying to lay foundation It's not about them as much as it's about us. Let me see. Barbara Bush. There's a Barbara Bush. Man, that was really bad. I mean, right? So right here, she looks like a chick, right? And many believe that she's Aleister Crowley's granddaughter or something like that. But right here, the same Barbara Bush, look, dude, it looks like a fucking dude in drag, bro. It's weird. And so this seems to be a practice with them, right? We know that Esau is the fucking wicked. Yet at the same time, he plays this game where he appears to give women their rights, right? Whatever, which they have rights. Women in their position underneath a man, she's in her most safest place she'll ever be. But Esau came along and told women, right? Oh, you gotta get a career. You need to be, you've been mistreated. And why do you think Esau did that? He did it to not just to make more money and to tax them. He did it to divide the house. Because of his policy, he's been able to divide men and women all over the earth while he is secretly planning on taking over the planet Earth through his new world order, right? So, let me get off of that. We committed adultery. So now, through Esau and his rulership, because we committed adultery, right? How long will thou go? How long will thou go? Backsliding daughter, right? Backsliding daughter, talking to us, backsliding daughter. Okay. We were whorish. Okay, we know that the Most High likens us unto a comely woman. I'll just pull that too. Let me pull that so it proves my point. Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? This is a dark saying. The backsliding daughter is the man of Israel. Okay? You guys have to understand that. The wisdom of the Most High is likened unto a beautiful woman. We see that by all of the writings of King Solomon. Okay? Israel as a whole, men and women, is likened unto a woman. Wisdom and understanding is, we are instructed to call wisdom and understanding our kinswoman and our sister. In the Song of Solomon, King Solomon is actually the Most High, and the Shulamite woman who is his desire and who is pursuing him, that's King Solomon or Yahawashi, and the women, the concubines, the queens, and the virgins without number that are surrounding the woman, that's your elect. That's your northern and southern kingdom. It's all poetic, okay? How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? How long will you be a whore? How long will you cheat on me? How long will you commit adultery with these other philosophies when I've already given you the wisdom? When I've given you a standard of my law, statutes, and commandments? When I've given you my prophecies? When I've given you my name? You guys understand it's really bad what we did. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. Why? I'm going to send a judgment. My response, one of them, to what you are doing is a new thing in the earth, comma, a woman shall compass a man. Right there, you can see that obviously the backsliding daughter is something different, because his response to this backsliding daughter is a woman will compass a man. A woman will go around the authority of a man. I'll give you an example. You have a mom and a dad at home, and they have two children. One of the children says, Mom, can I have some candy? And the mom says no. And that same child goes around the mom and then asks the dad, can I have some candy? And the dad says yes. And so that child gets the candy, doesn't communicate to the father. Mom already said no, right? Mom sees the baby eating candy and says, I told you not to eat that. Well, I asked Daddy and he said I could. You see how fucking crazy that is? And that's a violation. Because in the order of the home, both the parents are over the child. There's no division between the parents when it comes to children. Can you see that? Look at America, you guys. You have women that have relationships with men, and they can call 911 on their man and get another authority involved, the state, if they decide to argue with their man, and so that now their man has no authority over them, because it's called what? It's called domestic violence, which is an accusation. That's a lie. There's no such thing as domestic violence in the ancient world, bro. You do what your husband tells you to do. And if your husband puts his hands on you, I know this is going to shock some of you women. What are you doing that's making him put his hands on you? We're not talking about a guy just coming home, just beating his wife. We're talking about a man of God, a man who knows the name of Yahweh, a man who understands the laws, statutes, and commandments and follows them, a man who understands prophecy. If you provoke a man like that to put his hands on you, you've done something. You've done something. You're completely fucking out of order if you're provoking a David, a King David like, a Moses level like type man to put his hands. Women have to get to the place where they're accountable. You have to stop listening to the philosophies, the wine of Esau that has women and now men so drunk that a woman can act out however she wants without any type of physical consequence, because we see that's not the case with the Most High and his wife. The Most High put his hands on all of us. And how did he do it? By putting us underneath the rulership of Esau. And what has Esau, the so-called white man, been doing to so-called black people, so-called Latino people, and so-called Native American people the entire time he's been in power? He's been putting his hands on us. And we are the wife of the Most High. Let me prove this to you. Go to Proverbs. This is not talking about a man. This is talking about the Most High and us. Jealousy. Jealousy is the rage of a man. This is talking about us, you guys. This is not talking about a random guy down the street. Even though it plays out with that, this is talking about Yahweh, by Hashem Yahawashi and the house of Jacob. Look at this. Let me go back one. Let me go back another. But Proverbs 6:32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroys his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall be wiped away, not wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou give many gifts. Think about this. On the day of vengeance, this is talking about when we committed adultery over and over again. And when it was time for the Most High to recompense us, he did so. And look what happened to us during slavery. Look what's been happening to us since King Solomon and King David. We've been getting our asses beat by all the other nations, all the other men, so to speak, on the block, and we've had no covering from our husband. We've had no protection from the chariots. We have had no angelic protection. Why? Because he divorced us. And this is how he's putting his hands on us, by allowing everybody else to put their fucking hands on us. Women today are now out of control, and it's a form of judgment that we have to bear, that we have to swallow that shit, right? We're getting put back into order, right? But we have to understand that this Jeremiah 31:22 brings us to Micah 7. You got to see it, bro. Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? And so to prove to you that the daughter are the men, Let me photo. Look at this. What does he do when he judges America or when he judges Israel? The the captain of 50. There it is. Boom. Now look at this. What does he do? Look at this. Look at that. Look. So this is the daughter. Okay. Look. This is Isaiah 3:1. For behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah. There goes your northern and southern kingdom. There goes your Latinos, your Native Americans, and your so-called blacks, right? He takes away the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. He's going to hit us with famine. And then what? The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, the prudent and the ancient. These are all men. He hasn't mentioned one female yet. Yet there are women in this, but he's taken away the men. Why? Because it's the men that are committing the adultery. The men are the head of every nation. The captain of 50, there goes your men of war, and the honorable man, and the counselor, there's all your wisdom, and the cunning artificer, there goes all your skillful men of crafts that can build and paint and you know, architectural, just everything. And the eloquent orator, the speakers, right? And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. Who are the babes? That goes your Edomites, because they were born after us. How are they born after us? When you go up the family tree, and you go from Jacob and Esau came out of Isaac, but who did Isaac come out of? Isaac came out of Abraham and Sarah, right? That you follow up they're younger than us when you go up the family tree further. So that's how you do this. So then come back and you see that the Most High is judging the men by taking them out of the way, right? And now we're all weak. We have no wisdom. We have no strength. We have another group of people ruling over us. And now our women are completely fucking out of control because the babes that are ruling over us have released a doctrine into the earth that says a woman is equal to a man. What happens when you write a law that says the weaker vessel is equal to her head? Because what does Paul say? Paul says the woman is the weaker vessel. This is not an insult. It's the fucking truth. She is the weaker vessel. And this means in every fucking way. She's weaker mentally. She's weaker spiritually. She's not just weaker physically. She's weaker morally too. She needs a covering. Just like we need Yahawashi. A man who is an Israelite who says he doesn't need Yahawashi is equal and just as whorish as a woman who says she doesn't need a man. You guys have to understand it like this. 1 Peter 3:7, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. That doesn't mean what we're talking about here in America, where you lift her up above you and you got to do what she says and she can argue and act like a fucking child. That's not what this is talking about. This is talking about biblical honor. Weaker, give unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. See, now a man of the Most High would understand how important prayer is, because he has a relationship with his head. You have to understand, a man who prays, a man who is observing the morning and evening sacrifice, is a man who is operating in his wife, his brideship. He's being a honorable bride to the Most High, and he's honoring his head. Therefore, you better honor your head, female, because he's doing so. He's doing the wifely duties that he's supposed to do, because he would be concerned. Only a man that's not a rebellious person would understand the fearfulness of having your prayers hindered. See, that doesn't even make sense to a two-thirds nigga. To a guy that's in hip hop, to a porno star, or to some drug dealer, what does he care about prayers? He doesn't care anything about prayer. He's not praying. Do you see how a man that submitted to his head would be concerned about his prayers being answered? Just like a woman who submitted to her husband, she would be concerned about getting cut off from her husband because she's not rebellious, she's not proud. There's an order. It's all connected. It's all connected. Now let me hop back out of there. Let's go all the way back. Okay? Let me see. No, let's go all the way back here. Now, with that being said, now here we are. Now here we are in Micah, verse 9. Now we understand, right? We understand what we did. We understand that we transgressed. We understand that we messed up, and because we messed up, the whole planet is out of order because it's under judgment, because we're under judgment. The whole planet is groaning for the redemption of the sons of God, you guys. The whole creation is waiting for us to get back into our position because we're the only ones that can operate in a position of rulership in the earth and do it right. And we're not in our position, and the entire creation is suffering as a result because the earth was created for us. You want to see the precepts? Therefore, you don't have to take my word. The whole creation, the whole creation groaneth. The whole creation groaneth for the redemption. Groaneth for the redemption of the sons of God, the sons of power, the sons of power. Look at this, man. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And man, where is it at? I want to get that precept. Hold on. There it is. I gotta go further down. Hold on. And not only they, but also ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of the body. Okay? For we are saved. Where is that one? Oh, Salakia. I gotta find that one. The whole creation, redemption of the sons of God. Let me see if I can Salakia for the second time. Hold on. Okay, it's 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. The earth and all of creation is waiting for us to be restored back into rulership. Why? Because we will have the knowledge of wisdom and knowledge of good. We will have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding inside of us with the laws, statutes, and commandments, and we will know how to operate on the earth according to the wisdom and understanding of the Most High. Right now, the current ruler, isn't doing that, and he's got the entire creation out of whack because he's doing everything from the left-hand side. And one of his doctrines is to put women in a position the Most High did not mean for them, but Yahweh is allowing it because it's a form of punishment because of what we did in the past. And we are now witnessing what it looks like for a woman to have all types of power, to have laws that protect her where she doesn't have a head. The head that she has is a synthetic one. She has a synthetic husband. She has a synthetic boyfriend in the background, which is this system that provides protection for her, it provides a covering for her, it provides income for her, and it's not a real man, and it's not the laws of Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi, and it's completely, what does it turn them into? Look at women now. They're completely disrespectful. They're making demands on men to pay for this, to pay for that, or they're not going to talk to you. They've made everything transactional, right? There's no respect, there's no honor, and there's no loyalty, that's what a marriage is. And it's at this level of pain and disgust. Why? Because that's what we did to Yahweh. We have to see why adultery is so bad. And there's never been a time in human history where you see in America the state of women with men, especially when you go on TikTok. So let's go back. Verse 9. I will bear the indignation. Now, this is the attitude when you wake up. I will bear the indignation, and that word indignation goes into anger. Okay? Indignation. Rage. Remember that Proverbs? Jealousy is the rage of a man. We committed adultery, you guys, by passing our holy seed to the fires of Moloch. We were sacrificing our children to demons. We were offering up sacrifices to demons. The raging, storming, indignation. That's the anger. I will bear. What's that word bear? For I will bear. Look, this is the attitude we have to have. To lift, to bear up, to carry, to take, to lift up, to carry, to support, sustained, endure, to take, carry off, forgive, to be lifted up. We're gonna accept it. We're gonna acknowledge it. We're gonna realize we deserve it. You understand? You see it. You see how all these words continuously to take away, to lift oneself, exalt oneself, to cause one to bear. So I will bear. I will acknowledge. I will accept. I will walk in. I won't complain. I'll understand why the indignation of Yahweh. Because I have sinned. There goes the confession. To admit that we have fucked up, bro. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I will behold his righteousness. Now, this next portion is very intense. You guys need to see all of this. Look at this, man. So we know we fucked up. We committed adultery. We know he put his hands on us. We know he's been putting his hands on us. Here, look, I'll prove it to you. Another one. It just came to me. Jeremiah 30. I have wounded you with the wounds of a cruel watch. It's Jeremiah 30. Yep. Look at this, bro. I remember when I first woke up and I read this, I began to weep because just like we are confessing our transgressions, you guys, to Yahweh, and it's this beautiful thing where we're in a process of redemption, we're in a process of repentance, we're in a process of confession, which is what? It's the restoration of a marital covenant. This is a very deep relationship that we have with Yahweh, Yahawashi. And it's very key that you guys get to the place as Hebrew Israelites where you face the east, you raise your hands, you call upon his name, and not only do you cry out for salvation from Esau, you acknowledge your past adulteries to him face to face. You tell him you did it. There's a healing balm in this because this is what he's doing. The fact that we can see this precept in prophecy the way that we can see it now means he's already released the Spirit to grant us wisdom, knowledge, understanding. What Yahawashi requests in Revelations, purchase from me, eye salve that your eyes may see, and white garments that your nakedness and shame be covered. The fact that we can see Jeremiah 30:14 and Jeremiah 30:12, the fact that we can see it this way means this process has already been established. It's already working. So let's read. Let me pull this up. Look. For thus say Yahweh, thy bruise. Somebody got hit. Thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause. No one can save you but me. That thou mayest be bound up, that thou hast no healing medicines. All thy lovers, you guys, we were sleeping around with multiple deities, multiple nations. We didn't cheat one fucking time, bro. This was an ongoing disrespect. This is why what you see happening today is that it's at the intensity that it is. Look at the S at the end of lover. Plural, dude. We were cheating against Yahweh Alishaja, bro, the man of war. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with a wound of an enemy. Right here, stop. Just like as we are confessing our transgressions, Yahweh is telling us everything that has happened to you. It happened to you because I sent it. He's not saying it in the form of a Jerry Springer show. He's not laughing like that. He's not talking shit. He's not saying, I didn't know, bro. It's coming out of him the same way our confessions are coming out of us. I have committed sin against you. I have committed adultery against you. I did this. I apologize. I don't ever want to do it again. And he's saying, I have wounded you. I'm the one that wounded you. This is closure, you guys. This is the beginning of healing. You need to understand how this song and this dance works. This is a song we have to learn to sing. We are singing and dancing out our repentance and our confessions. We are acknowledging what he has done, and he's singing and dancing out what he has done. And we're coming into the light, and then we're being made whole again, and we're understanding how bad fucking adultery is. I'm going to read it from the beginning. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. Because we don't have any lovers, you guys. We know now in 2025, none of these fucking nations give a fuck about our black, brown asses, bro. Nobody likes us. They all envy us. We know we're better than them at everything. They copycat fucking everything we do. They don't give us any acknowledgement for anything that we do. But because we're under the curses, we have no power. We have no power to subdue them. So these fucking heathen nations, these no wisdom, no righteousness, no Yahweh name, no Yahawashi name, knowing heathens and wicked Edomites, they can just walk up to us. They can copycat our dance. They can copycat our singing. They can copycat the way we dress. They can copycat the way we talk. They can copycat the way we cook. They can take all of our inventions, and they can see how amazing we are. At the same time, they fucking hate us. We do not have any lovers, you guys. We don't got no friends amongst the nations. Psalms 83 tells you, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one. Why? What was the reason? Because for the multitude of thine iniquity. That's why I did it. Because thy sins were increased. We were fucking going crazy. Just like you see women today, man. Women are out of fucking control. But it's because of all of this. Let's go back. Okay? Back to verse 9. We're going to stay in verse 9 for the rest of the lesson. There is so much in the second half of this. I don't even know if I have enough time. I will bear the indignation. There goes the confession. But as we confess, so does he. You see the closure? You see how awesome this is? As we open up to him and acknowledge, he opens up to us and he shows us what he's done. And there's a major light. There's a major clarification. There's a major, what do they call it? Closure. Okay? Healing. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because we have transgressed. We have sinned against him until he plead my cause. Now, what is this? And execute judgment for me. You need to understand. This is powerful. Look at this. Until he plead my cause. So not only are we wrong, acknowledging that we have been wrong, and we're in punishment as we're acknowledging that we've been wrong, we're also learning how to declare what? We need him to plead our cause. What does plead mean? You see what it means? To contend, to strive, physically with words, to conduct a case or suit, legal, to sue, to make a complaint, to quarrel, to contend. How do we interpret this? Who is as the wise man? What is the interpretation of the thing? How do we interpret this thing? So now that we are confessing, We're already in punishment, you guys. We've been in punishment for hundreds of years. We have been under Esau for hundreds of years. We are in the affliction of Zion. We're being punished. But now we're being brought to the light. Ezekiel 37, the breath has been breathed onto us. And now we are living. We are conscious. We are being made aware of our state. We are being made aware of what we did, so that now we can confess what we did as we face the east with our hands raised, calling on the name of Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahawashi, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, have mercy on us. I have transgressed against you. I have committed adultery against you, and I never want to do it again. Have mercy on me now. And he says, I did this. And he starts to show you precept upon precept. I'm the one that wounded you with the wounds of a cruel enemy. Who's the enemy? The enemy is Esau and the heathen nations. They're not our friends. So there goes more separation from who we need to be separated from anyways. We get closer to the 1/3 and the hopefully elect. Does it make sense? Now, I will wait till he plead my cause. Now, I need you to plead my cause. I will bear the indignation because I have sinned against him until the conjunction, okay? As far as I will bear the indignation, you guys, until up to, see, there's a time limit. As far as what? As far as the pivoting point. This is Lamentations 4 and 21 and 22. When it goes from me being punished to me being restored, and as I'm being restored, Esau now must be punished. The person that's been beating my ass because of what I did, now they must be punished as I'm being restored, because it was always about mercy. And it was always about the elect walking this whole thing out from the beginning to the end in the blood of Yahawashi. You guys have to see all of this, man. Look at this, bro. He will plead. He will now strive and contend. Okay? He will conduct a case, because now the judgment, now the rage, now the wounds are stopping. Now the slavery, now the curses are stopping. Now the theft and the being on the bottom is stopping. And execute. He's going to contend. He's going to strive. Now he's going to execute, to do, to accomplish, to make, to produce. Now he's going to work. What's happening? We're getting our husband back. We're getting glimpses and sparkles and hints that our husband is coming back, and all the blessings of our husband, the covering, the protection, the provision, the honor, the strength, our enemies being afraid, all of that is coming back, right? Look at that. To make, to produce, to prepare, to make an offering, to attend to put in order, to observe, to celebrate, to acquire property. That's the new covenant, the blessing, the inheritance. It's now starting to come back to plead my cause, to execute judgment for me. Judgment, justice, ordinance, judgment, active deciding a case, to do for us this entire time under fucking Esau what we couldn't fucking do for ourselves, bro. And this is the sending of Yahawashi, bro. This is all the judicial, spiritual, all the prophetic movements that's preparing us to confess, to get ready, to make ourselves white. And Yahawashi is gearing up to come and fucking get us, dude. Look at this. To execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth. Now this is all what's happening, bro. He will bring us forth. This is Ezekiel 37, to go out, to come out, to exit. Now we're transitioning. We're transitioning from darkness into light. We're transitioning from death to life. We're coming out of the graves. Like everything that it says, it's happening in Ezekiel 37, bone coming to bone, sinew upon sinew, flesh, then the breath, then we're standing an exceeding army. That's what all this is right here. To come and go forth, to cause to go or come. We're coming to life, right? We'll bring forth. He will bring us forth to the light. What is the light, you guys? The light of day, the light of heavenly luminaries. What is the moon and the sun and the stars to us? It's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Can you see it, bro? The daybreak. Now, what does Yahawashi say about wisdom and the wisdom of Solomon? Look at this shit, man. This is not Salakia. It's not shit, Salakia. Look at this, though. Wisdom of Solomon. Bro, all of this. Solomon. The light she gives never goes out. The light she gives, talking about wisdom, the light she gives never goes out. Look at this. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of God and the image of his goodness. Look at this. Hold up. Let me see. Actually, let's just go into 7. Hold on. So, wherefore I prayed. So we'll start at 7. Wherefore I prayed. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 7 down. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given to me. This is what's happening to us, you guys. Because you have to have wisdom, and you have to have understanding, and this is the breath, and this is how we live with and before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Because we've been dead this whole time, getting our asses kicked because of our adultery, because we cheated. Wherefore I pray. We've been without a husband. We've been without a protection. And look at the women who are married and leaving their husbands, and they're seeing how crazy it is out there, and they're coming back on TikTok and they're crying their eyes out. And they can't believe what they did. That's also like us. Because women are not above order, bro. They're not above their husbands. Just like we are not above Yahawashi, and we are not, and Yahawashi is not above Yahweh. Verse 7. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon power, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones. That is so powerful, bro. That is loving. This is Yahawashi showing us how to love his Father. He's loving the provider. He's loving the provider more than the things that are provided. And this is what we don't see with women right now on the earth. But why? Because of what we did. And we are learning now how to love Yahweh and how to love Yahawashi more on a personal level than other than what they can just provide for us. And our women are going to be restored the same way. They will love us in the future. Not just for what we provide for them, but they will love us for us. Because right now they don't, but we didn't love Yahweh either. And we didn't love Yahawashi either. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches nothing in comparison to her. Do you see how he's putting wisdom above all these things? We have to do the same thing. Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay before her. I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light, for the light that cometh from her never goes out. All good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands, and I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goeth before them, and I knew not that she was the mother of them. I learned diligently, and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of power, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. Power hath granted me to speak. I'm going to jump down. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. For wisdom, verse 24, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness, for she is the breath of the power. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages. And that's what's happening with us. We are being made new, and in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of power and prophets, for God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. And it's the same thing that we need to happen for our women. Because right now they're not walking in wisdom, but we weren't walking in wisdom either. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of stars. Listen to this part, man. Being compared with the light, she is found before it. And that's what we are being brought to the light. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. There's one more precept we got to get, you guys. So he's going to bring us to the light, which is his spirit, right? And her light never goes out. And then once we're in the light, once we're in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, what's he going to do? Then we'll be able to behold. We will behold, look, to see, to look at. This is vision. This is prophecy. This is eye salve, healing your eyes. Inspect. You cannot inspect without eyes, and you can't inspect without instruction. You can't inspect without order. You can't inspect without understanding the laws, statutes, and commandments. You cannot inspect without the law to know how to inspect, to perceive and consider, to see. Look at all this. We're getting our vision back, to have vision. This is what's happening to you guys. Now look, after we get the light, right? And once we get the light, we shall behold his righteousness. What do you think the righteousness is? Who do you think the righteousness is? It's Yahawashi. Justice, right? And this is who Yahawashi is. Once he completely restores us, after we've cheated on him, he then restores us back, and then we are now prepared to face and see Yahawashi, our husband. Justice, righteousness, righteous, of judge, of ruler, of king. It's talking about Yahawashi, you guys. The Davidic king, Messiah, it's talking about Yahawashi. And one more prophet, we'll just get one precept. Jesus Christ, the Yahawashi, I have to say it this way because that's how it's Jesus Christ the righteous. Look, it's talking about him, you guys. It's insane. This is what's happening all in just that one prophecy. Whew. Okay, 1 John 2:1. My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, see how it connects to what we just got done reading? If any man commit adultery, if any nation, talking about us, not any nation, if the northern and southern kingdom commit adultery against Yahweh, and we did, okay? And if any man, and that man being the house of Jacob, sin, we have an advocate with Yahweh the Father, Yahawashi, Hamashiach, the righteous. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Salakia. And I'll give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and the Shalom to the 144,000, hopefully elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahawashi. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.